I wouldn't make something that's dumb.
Oh,
I'm also 18. I know what the kids want. Thanks for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.
oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yo.
So I said, F you. No, I
Can we start the podcast?
But by the
right
way,
now?
he is always pitching companies, so it's like it's not
Well,
that far fetched.
why don't I pitch you something?
Let's hear it.
You're the producer of the show. Get the off the couch
Well, all right,
and
we
go
got- we're
produce.
Waiting.
No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Oh my God, I see him, dude. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding, bro.
How?
I see him and he looks exactly like what he looks like on television, bro.
Impossible.
He looks, his skin looks great. His hair looks great.
Oh, wow.
He looks great, bro. Yo.
Let's go, Mark.
Logan, pleasure, bro. My pleasure. How are you, man?
What's up, man? Mine, dude.
Wait, did you want us in the big one with the big Dallas Mavericks thing?
Yeah, that was where it was supposed to be.
Oh, they stiffed us on The Office?
Yeah, that's right. This is cool.
Damn.
It's not like I'm using this shit for anything else, so.
You want headphones?
No, whatever. I don't care.
We do headphones.
All right,
Yeah.
if you do headphones, then I don't
Yeah,
wanna be
yeah.
the guy without the headphones.
It's a good podcast vibe with the headphones
I hear
on.
that.
Do you ever use this office for anything?
Did it look like I used it?
No,
There's not even a
They put
desk
us in a
in here.
closet.
No, because I've got an office on the other side of the building, right? And so we just added this practice facility, and my son was going to come in and fix it all up and trick it out, and obviously, but
he didn't
it's
do it
perfect
yet.
for you, man. Impulsive. That's
Can we
it's
set
your
up our
office.
Dallas setup here and just
Done.
leave it here?
Done.
That's perfect. So, Mark, how are you, dude?
I'm good. Good.
Thanks
Got
for
my
joining
workout
us.
this morning. Get the vibe with you guys. I'm good.
Good, bro. You're real active, busy man, successful. Mark, we love you guys. I haven't done an intro yet. We've been shooting the shit. If you don't mind, I got an intro for you.
All right.
First off, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Impaulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing. If you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that button. Turn on the notifications. Our guest today is a beast. He's an entrepreneur. He's an investor. He's the owner of an NBA team. I can't believe it. And he's the original Maverick and a billionaire with a B. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mark fucking Cuban.
What up, y'all?
Hey, are your headphones okay?
Yeah.
Are they popping and cracking a little
Mine's
bit?
staticky.
A little bit, but
You can deal with it.
I don't
You've
give a
been
fuck.
through hardship.
It's tough. It's tough, right?
You did a podcast with Bobbi Althoff.
Yeah, that was an experience.
Was that a hardship? Was that tough?
It was in a garage and there was oil on the fucking floor. But
Yeah.
but my clothes don't cost more than $20 a pop anyway, so it's okay.
That's her stick though. Like
Yeah, her stick is like awkward and
Yeah.
different and
did
weird.
Did you find yourself struggling to get through it?
No, man, because I'm like, you want to be different? You want to be weird? Let's go. I'm ready. That
Okay.
was easy. I mean, I thought I was too weird for her, so it was like a balance.
Oh, it was good?
Yeah, it was
You
good.
guys are like sitting on the floor as well?
Yeah, just sitting on the floor.
I like
chilling.
how raw she makes it. But she gets like some heat for they think she's an industry plant.
Oh, she talks about that shit, right?
Yeah.
No, she's the industry plant that planted the industry plant stuff, right?
Whoa. Are we talking about Inception or The Matrix?
It's just a big old false flag, right? It's just like,
It's a
I feel like when
psyop.
someone's
it's
successful,
psyop. That's exactly right.
when someone's like quickly successful like that,
Something's up.
something's up.
Yeah, something's up,
Like,
right?
She definitely is.
You
an
lay in bed
industry
with
plant.
Drake, though, shit happens.
Yeah, what happened? How'd she get in bed with Drake so quick?
That's not something I pay attention to.
Well, she got in bed and out of bed with Drake.
Right?
Like there was some sort of major
Something
collapse.
happened. Yeah,
And
something
there's a lot
happened.
of speculation on what happened there.
But she's a cool chick, right? I liked her, right? She was chill. She wasn't like the minute the camera stopped rolling, she changed, right? That was just her.
Hold on a
yeah.
second. So when you met her, she was just like, "Hey, man," like,
Yeah, pretty much.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Pretty
that
much,
That was
right?
her attitude the
Yeah,
whole time.
pretty much. It was just like, hi,
Oh, cool.
You're lucky I'm having you on the show today. Like,
how much money do you have?
that's awesome. That's dope.
I saw the part where she asked you for money.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention this because MrBeast posted a video.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I think, asking you for $1 million as well.
Oh, he did? I didn't see that one.
He posted it.
Oh, asking me for $1 million?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
What do
see
you mean
that
you were
shit.
in it?
Yeah.
You definitely shot it with MrBeast. He
Yeah,
asked you
I
for
shot
$1 million. You said no.
Yeah, I mean, we shot out hooping actually. He did this thing with different houses that cost different amounts. Starts with $1 house, $1 million house, and I got to see the $15 million house. And I took my son, and he's like, "It's got a cool backyard basketball court. Let's get some shots up." I'm like, "Okay, yeah," but I don't think he asked me for any money unless it was brand new.
I'm telling you, Mark, There's a video.
Could be AI.
Could be AI, right?
Could be AI. You can't trust anything
It looks
nowadays.
real.
Maybe he did, right? He wouldn't be the first guy to ask me for $1 million.
So this is what I'm getting to. People often, I assume, like ask you for money.
All the fucking time.
Is it annoying?
It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, true.
You know, I've been there on the other side. And so like, you know, ask away. The only time it was weird was when I first really got paid, right? And got up to the billionaire status. And then like buddies of mine who I thought I was cool with, I mean, I remember one dude, he sent me a letter, didn't even talk to me, sent me a letter. Hey, Mark, I need $275,000. I know it's not a big deal to you anymore. I'll just pick up a check. I haven't talked to him since. I have not talked to him since.
That's offensive.
Yeah, well, you know what it's like, right? I mean, once you start making it, it's not so much you figure it out. It's everybody around you who doesn't really know how all this is supposed to work. And, you know, the way I always looked at it, the people I'm close to, I know if they're having problems, right? And I'm going to reach out and I'm going to help. People that I don't really know, they're going to ask and I'm going to say, fuck off.
Do you say fuck off?
Exactly to that.
Legend.
Yeah, because it's not like, you know, you're not my guy. We're not close. If you have to ask, then we're not close.
Yeah.
So like people don't generally have to ask you, like if you have something cool going on and they're involved, they're add value, you kind of would like break them off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, just curious. I'm not going anywhere with this, but you'd make sure like, yo, they're doing stuff that promotes the brand or the
not
org.
even. Yeah, not even. Like,
not even. They don't have to do anything. You'll still give
just
them a
my
little
guys.
equity.
Like, yeah.
Make
No, it's not
sure
even
your
great.
friends are taking
No,
care.
it's not like
I
I
see
give
what
them
you're
equity.
saying.
It's
Mark,
not-
you've said enough. Thank you. Thank you.
No,
And Logan
I'm
will
not
speak
giving them
after.
shit like that, right? It's like, you know, if my guy's like, all right, you know, I know your house blew up or whatever, right? Or some shit happened, right?
Oh, man.
All right, I'll help out. You know, your insurance, you don't have insurance, whatever.
Sorry about
your
your
kids.
exploding house.
Yeah, does
Yeah,
that
right.
happen often?
Like
Like
$500,000.
spontaneous combustion.
Question, right?
These things happen. I've seen the videos. Look, when I was 8, I was in school, saw Guinness Book of World Records. I love these things, especially at that age, seeing all these amazing human feats. Open it up, world's richest person, Bill Gates, $60 billion. I was 8 years old. I thought of the most brilliant idea ever. I said, I'm going to write this rich man a letter. I'm going to ask him for some money so then I could be rich. So I did. I wrote him a letter like your friend wrote you.
Yeah, but you were 8. He was like 50.
But he never responded. I couldn't believe it.
Damn, Bill.
Yeah,
Do you want to hear
damn.
my Bill Gates story?
Really?
Yes.
Okay, my Bill Gates story, right? So there used to be this trade show called Comdex, and it was like a big trade show, and it was like 25% actual work and 75%, oh, fuck, it's Vegas, let's go, right? Yeah. And they always had booth babes and everything, and, you know, I'd be slick, you know, let's go out, have a drink, whatever. And one time I'm out, and we're at this club, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get us all a round of drinks. And I come back, and my girls are gone. My girls are gone. I come later to find out they got a better offer from Bill Gates.
Oh, no. Better drinks.
Yeah, better, whatever. But that was like early days of Microsoft when he just made his first billions or whatever. And he was saying,
Damn, so Bill was laying pipe.
Bill stole my girls. Yeah.
Whoa. See, he doesn't strike me as a lady killer.
That shows you how bad it was.
Oh, no.
Have you spent time with him?
No. The only time
He gets a bad rap. And I wanted to ask you about this because generally, from what I've seen, especially in this new like age of like conspiracy, right? Anybody with a little bit of bread, they're like automatically like an elitist.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
You know, like
what is it? The World Global, whatever, the globalist or whatever, the
Economic
WEF.
all that
WEF.
stuff.
Yeah, the World Economic Forum.
Right.
Yeah.
And Illuminati, and they drink, you know, the blood of
the
babies
blood.
for
That shit's
adrenochrome.
cool, man. It's fun. Those dudes, the Illuminati, they are fun.
No, you can't
They
say
know
that.
how to
No,
party.
please, Mark. We have to stop you. They're gonna clip this. We have to stop you. No, but like, dude, you're a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
you're a billionaire.
Sorry.
You're a fucking billionaire, Mark. You know, and like, you seem like a pretty normal guy. Like, you don't like.
Nah.
Are any? Have you ever met any billionaires that are vampires?
There's a few I told to suck my dick, but yeah. No vampires.
Do you want to tell us who those people are?
No, they wouldn't be happy.
Do most billionaires suck, or are most billionaires cool?
Most of them are cool. Most of them just
Really?
chill, like just, you know, to have a B next to your name, you got to be lucky. And 90% of the people I've met that are that rich know they're lucky. Like something happened that just, you can be smart, you can make money, you can become a millionaire, you can grind like you guys do and great things happen. But to get to that next level, shit's got to be like crazy.
You can grind like you guys do, but it's never gonna happen.
But you know what I'm saying though, right? You know what I'm saying, right?
Sure,
That's no
for
disrespect. Sure. Most of the people I met are that way. And then most of them realize like their next dollar is not going to change their lives. But some of them are just like, I got to get more. And those are the fucked up ones, right? Because it's like, how much more do you need? And the shit that they'll do to get that extra money, right? That's what's fucked up.
So, but that's not in your DNA though, because I find with like hungry people like that, that chase and the continuation of building and compounding is the thing.
No,
that
look,
fuels
it's a scoreboard, right? Look, if I was, when I was 35, right, let's go. Let's get to the next level. Let's get to the next level. When it first happened, bought the Mavs, let's get to the next level. But then you have kids and shit, and it starts to that starts becoming, more important and things you can do there. And then like with me, I've just gotten to the point where like, if I can fuck things up to make things better, that's the juice, right? It's not about how much more money I have. It's the competitive juices are, okay, how can I take an industry, like the drug industry and just fuck it up?
We love what you're doing.
Disrupt it.
Yeah, just disrupt. Yeah. So that's the stuff that's what gets me excited, because you guys know, right? There's sports and then there's business, and business is more competitive than sports. Because there's always somebody out there trying to kick your ass. And you always are keep competing with every fucking drink in the world, right? And every angle, every edge you're trying to get. And somebody's trying to do the same thing. And that shelf space, that shipping space, that's everything. And that's the juice for me.
Did your stroke of luck that you mentioned that most billionaires have, I don't know if I would even call it luck, but did it come with broadcast.com?
Yeah, for sure. My first company, a company called Micro Solutions, I started because I got fired from a job. And I built it, didn't take a vacation for like 7 years, sold it, but I learned all about networking and technology, programming and all that stuff, right? And then take some time off, bought a lifetime pass in American Airlines, just traveled and partied like a rock star. Dude, literally I had this little card. I could walk into a club, say, let's go to Vegas. And I show up to American Airlines. If the flight's full, they have to kick people off. Whoa. Oh, it was the best shit ever, right? It made me super handsome.
That was like the level one of a private jet.
Oh,
right?
yeah. As good, right? For someone who couldn't afford a jet, right? And so I was just going to be retired, right? I wasn't going to do shit. I was just, I was making money trading stocks. I was set. And then, my buddy from college comes along and says, look, this internet stuff that's happening. It's like 94, 95. There's got to be a way we can put sports on the internet. I'm like, let me figure it out, right? Streaming didn't exist. And then the next day streaming existed, right? Now, when we got going, if the internet stock market hadn't just been insane, and been this big bubble, who knows what
might not have
happened.
worked.
Yeah. But the company still would have worked, right? But I wouldn't have made as much money. But when the internet stock market went parabolic, it was just woof, right? It was like, here we go, And so we go public. It was broadcast.com. It was the first streaming company. And it was the largest IPO in the history of the stock market at the time.
$6 billion.
Yeah, that's what we sold it for.
Oh, that's what you sold it for.
So a year later, a little bit more than a year later, we sold it for 5.7 in stock though, right? And so getting 5.7 in Yahoo stock, well, if the internet stock market crashes, all that shit goes to hell too. So the better part of that story is after we sold, I did a collar, right? Where I sell calls in the stocks and I buy puts on the stocks. And that protected me when the whole internet stock market cratered. Yeah. And so that was smart. That part wasn't luck. But the fact that the whole internet stock market.
See, there's some skill to it.
Yeah. But if I had been born 3 years earlier or 5 years later,
might not have happened.
I wouldn't be sitting here.
What was your net worth or approximate net worth prior to that $6 million?
About 25.
Sale? 25 M's.
Yeah.
Oh, so your life changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you this. What was like the biggest, what did you do? You woke up one day, I'm sure, dude, there had to be a moment where you were like, well, you got it in stock, you said, right?
Yeah. So I had to convert that to cash first, right? That's where I put on the collar. So that's when I knew I was good.
But at one point, you converted it to cash. Were you just like, did you just like ever look at your bank account? And
Fuck yeah, I did. I would run around naked going, yeah, come on. You know, and then I knew everybody knew. So I would walk out, go to the clubs with my boys, and they'd be like, yeah, come on.
Like I can see you at the ATM, you know, where you can like check the balance and just walk away from the screen. Like,
no lie,
whoops,
so
I
true,
accidentally
man.
left my balance on the screen.
No, man, not that much,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause I
yeah.
would- but like I would have like, because something came in or whatever, I would have $3 or $4 million in my bank account, and I could walk up to the ATM, put my card in, make sure there's a bunch of people around.
Yeah.
Print out the receipt, right, that has the balance on it. Whoops, you know. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I did that. Yeah.
This episode of Impulsive is brought to you by NASCAR. It all comes down to Martinsville as the field of 8 playoff drivers will be cut down to 4 in the final race before the championship showdown in Phoenix. Drivers have taken on super speedways, tri-ovals, road courses, and even the streets of Chicago this season. But if they want to punch their ticket to the championship, they'll have to conquer the short track in NASCAR, Martinsville Speedway. This half mile of mayhem will put drivers to the test as battle in tight quarters for 500 miles of action-packed short track racing. It's make or break time for those looking to secure their spot in the championship 4 at Phoenix next weekend. Invite your friends over, grab some beers, and tune in to watch the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs Elimination Race presented by Xfinity at Martinsville on Sunday, October 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Back to the program.
Here's a question too. You had life changes a lot, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how this goes, obviously, but when you change from a multimillionaire to a billionaire, and as you continue to want to like build and you know increase your net worth, was there ever a moment along that journey where you looked back and said, "Damn, I kind of missed that more carefree period in my life where I was just having a good time and things weren't as pressurized"?
Not so much from a money perspective, just from a social media perspective. Right, because you get to that point where everybody knows who you are and everybody's taking pictures of everything you do.
Target.
Yeah, you're just a target for everything. And so
Someone took a picture of me yesterday at a restaurant, and there was a girl that was like 2 feet away from me walking through the same door frame that I was like standing in, and they accused me of cheating on my fiance.
with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just dumb shit like
Well,
that.
it was Mike's girlfriend. Like, Mike,
Your girlfriend?
Like Mike was in the
There's a
bathroom,
picture
like,
of
there's
Dirk
5 of
from
us
way
there.
back when we were in the finals, right? And so there's Dirk's girlfriend sitting next to me, and I purposely, knowing there's people around, was leaning back like this. And then all of a sudden, there were pictures everywhere, you know, Mark Cuban, not his wife. Just
Come on.
everywhere. And it's
yo.
Dirk's girlfriend, and it's just like always.
See, you're a
Yeah.
professional, so it's got like a real professional, so it's got to be a little bit harder for you because when it happens to us, like we'll just play into it.
Oh, no, look.
Do you know what I said? I responded to the picture and I was like, this is so messed up of Logan to do to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
right?
saying? I said I will never forgive him for this.
Right.
And that's blowing up on Twitter. People are like, is the beef real?
Right.
Is
And you just
Impulsive
go with
done?
it, right?
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
go
yeah,
with it,
yeah.
right?
material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, some of that, you know, first of all, Twitter X is just such a cesspool now, right?
Shit show.
It's a shithole, right? You
Yeah.
can't win no matter what. Everything like less and less time. Elon fucked that shit up, right?
Badly.
He fucked that shit up. But you know, Instagram's still chill, TikTok's still chill, and there's other places, right, that aren't so bad where you can mess with people and have fun. But you just can't do it on Twitter.
This X conversation is important because, you know, as the conversation around like real radical free speech continues to like carry on here, I mean, that's kind of what you have there. And more so, Elon would probably say this isn't the case, but it seems to me that algorithmically, the bad stuff is elevated.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly
cannot
why. I
see
read that shit, right? I'm a tech guy.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe they changed it, but I'm like, okay, you know, because I was giving Elon some shit about it.
I saw that.
Yeah. And so, I mean, let me just look at, because they open source their algorithms to their credit. And the way it works is called a nearest tree or something like that algorithm, where if you are a big user on X, Twitter, then and you have a lot of followers and those followers engage with you, then all the shit, not only your shit gets elevated, but all the people you engage with get elevated. So when Elon interacts with some of these crazy fucked up people, their shit gets elevated, and the people that they talk to, their shit gets elevated. That's that tree thing, right?
I've noticed it. I've noticed it when I because sometimes
your For You page turns into a shit show.
It's a disaster, and I'm not going to claim innocence. I've certainly have watched some of these school fights or played into some of these conspiracy theories when I read them because, like you, and I've seen it from you. The frustration that exists inside of me for the past 10 years watching this continue to just snowball is massive. And I know that it has been with you.
And it's tough. Like it's like 3 years ago on Twitter, right? You could engage with somebody and it could be real, right? And there can be an in-depth conversation where people are like, okay, I'm learning something. I'm giving something and I'm getting something. That's a win-win. Now, oh my God, you say anything and it's just like, the fucking trolls come out at night, right? And it's awful.
What's the solution?
Elon has got to take himself out of the algorithm. And I posted that to him.
You think he's that, he as a player is that powerful, him personally?
He has 160 million users and the algorithm's designed to amplify your biggest users and the people that they engage with. So if he just says, okay, extract myself from the algorithm, then, when he says excellent or interesting or whatever the shit he posts, right? Because he knows that shit's just, it backdoors everything that happens on Twitter.
And he can claim non-involvement because he's just writing, this is an interesting stat, but just by doing that,
it gets promoted everywhere. Wild. And then the people that promote with that post, that promote with that, all that shit just amplifies and gets amplified. And so if he just said, because he still has 160 million followers, so if he posts, 160 million people have a chance to see it, but you just don't want that shit influencing what gets seen by everybody else.
What about a forced identification system where people
that would kill his business? He can't.
Really? I thought I saw something that people.
No, he wanted to charge $1, to make sure that
per year.
Not bots. No, that's bullshit, right?
I think if people have to actually be people, and the human that is behind the tweet is revealed because they have to submit their ID.
I agree with you because then they can't be. You
can't be anonymous and
you can't be a pussy and just sit there and talk shit.
Yeah.
Because people know who you are, right? I agree that would help, but it would kill his business.
But there also is there's a fucked up point here in that there was a verification system that he then
that wasn't perfect, but it worked.
It wasn't perfect, but it worked because at least when you saw that blue check, you had some semblance.
Especially if it was the name you knew, right?
Exactly.
Right, because this is Logan, this is Mike, right? I know that they're real, right?
And now anybody can buy one, and it's and you can then claim to be a verified
$8,
individual.
So if you just want to fuck with people for a month, right? You pay your $8, and then what happens is it moves you right to the top. So when you go look down in someone's mentions, you see all these people that paid their $8 that, and I'm gonna tell you something else, and I can't prove this, but I think that he's doing. I think he's taking old abandoned accounts that, accounts someone opened in 2015 and hasn't used since 2015 and turn them into bots to amplify the number of users on the system.
That he said he was fighting against.
Right.
Basically.
Well, but he controls them, right? So
they're his bots.
They're his bots.
Elon has an
army of bots.
I'm guessing, right? I don't know. I'm guessing.
I love this.
But when I went to the World Economic Forum, that's what we were talking about.
Oh, you went there?
Oh, yeah. When I did that.
You're a bad dude, bro. You're a bad dude.
Oh,
Billionaire
my God. And
here's another question. Do you think that now, especially that X has become monetized, and you actually, I'll be honest, you actually can make
I made $2,000 1 month, because something took off,
You can make and for like the average person who
that's
doesn't
real money,
have that level of wealth, that's a lot of money, right? Do you think this elevation of hatred and just kind of nasty rhetoric that we're seeing is less representative of Elon's algorithm and more representative of like a systemic issue that we as people have?
No. I don't think Twitter's real world.
Oh, certainly it's not.
It's not. No, I think, when you get on Twitter, it's like there's all kinds of gyms you can go work out at. If you go to an MMA gym, you're getting into one type of workout, right? And you're going to expect someone's going to hit somebody, someone's going to get hit, right? You go to jiu-jitsu, different type of work. You go to a regular gym, play ball, different type of workout. You know what you get when you go to Twitter.
Great analogy.
Right?
Yep.
And, and now you see what Threads is doing to try to compete. It's not there yet, but there's better engagement on Threads. There's just not as much wide of breadth of expertise. right? On Twitter, you can find somebody who knows something about everything, right? And on Threads and on the others, you can't.
Who wins, Elon or Zuck in that fight?
Zuck kicks his ass. You know that. I mean, if you know, if you have the skills, right, within that, whatever, what's he do, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. But he also does striking, I think.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu
So I mean,
for a while.
but if you know the actual sport and you've been trained in the sport, you're going to take on somebody who's not been trained, no matter what the size difference is.
Damn, what was I going to say?
Sorry about that.
No,
I just
fine.
thought that
We were
was
talking
gonna
about
be
the
a great
Illuminati
TikTok.
and how
the Illuminati.
yeah, and how Elon got me
Hatred
kicked
on
out.
Twitter. And his
Internet's
elevation.
not real life.
Threads.
Threads, Twitter, Elon.
Gyms.
Oh, it's gone.
By the way, I like your shirt. I just
Hey,
noticed.
I want to say this really quick. This is a very, very limited edition Warren Lotus.
What?
Dallas Mavericks that says Dallas don't break. I wore this specifically for you, Mr.
I kind of
Cuban.
figured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
I wear it from time to time, but I felt like today would be a great day to wear it. I mean, you ready you got a big season coming up.
Yeah,
you guys
man.
ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready if we stay healthy. But the whole NBA is just so good now. The level of talent in the NBA over just even the last 6-7 years has just exploded. Even the worst teams, like if you compared the worst teams in the NBA now versus 10 years ago, the worst teams now would be, playoff teams easily 10 years ago, just because that's where social media has been positive. Like anybody who picks up a ball or in any sport, right? You can just watch anything you want to watch on social media and learn, moves, how to handle the ball. You see guys like even in football, right? Wide receivers, they got to do the one-handed stuff, right? And they got the gloves and the stick 'em. I mean, you didn't see that stuff 10 years ago. And so social media has changed the ability to improve your skills. And you also have like jiu-jitsu, right? You can get trained watching videos to a certain extent on social media. 10 years ago, you couldn't do that.
So you think the level of skill in the NBA has
And that makes the whole league tougher.
so that leads me into a good question. Michael Jordan, LeBron, or Luka, greatest of all time?
All totally different. I think
I knew you were going to answer.
Luka is more like LeBron, right? Where he makes
sure.
everybody on the court better. Whereas MJ, he's the fucking killer, right? So if I'm in a close game and I have a choice between any of those three, I'm taking MJ.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If it's the beginning of the season and I've got 4 great players, right? Or 4 good players, and I want somebody who can make them better and get me to the playoffs and maybe win a championship, I'm taking LeBron. And eventually that'll be Luka.
I threw Luka in there.
I know you were setting me up.
I'm gonna get some shit for that because obviously, like he's what? Which one? Oh, about his team, and he's not going to answer it.
Dirk?
Yeah.
Oh, totally different players. Yeah, totally different players. Dirk's my guy, though. Dirk's my guy.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
If you were at Nick and Sam's, which one of the steaks would you get? The Luka or the Dirk?
I'd get the Luka.
That's like 77-day dry age.
Something like that, yeah. And I'm a vegetarian. I'd still get the Luka, because it's so good.
You're a vegetarian?
Yeah, I went vegetarian about 4 years ago.
How come?
Just because, as you get older, your body isn't as resilient. And that shit, every bit of inflammation I can suck out of my body matters. So I can still work out. I mean, because I'm an orthopedic mess, man. I've got 2 herniated discs, 2 replaced hips, torn rotator
From
cuffs.
what? Was it getting RKO'd by Randy Orton?
Yeah, that was fun too, man. Playing rugby and basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ever any issues with your ankles?
They're just tight. I got no flexibility.
But
at all.
have you ever had any fusion?
No, fuck no.
Okay. I'm happy we're talking about this. I have a really fucked up right ankle, arthritic ankle with a bunch of pins, screws, all that stuff in there. And they're pushing me towards fusion on it.
I've been pushing him towards amputation.
Yeah, but you got to give up. Once you get a fusion, you kind of give up working out and what you do, right?
You lose a lot of up and down motion, or the rest of the up and down motion. It's just the thing is like I don't have all that much.
See,
right now
I don't have
anyways.
much either, right? But still, like with my hips, right? I waited too long to get my hips replaced. I mean, I was getting the epidurals, where they show you and that needle goes in and you watch that needle. It was funky. It kind of felt kind of good. It was weird, but
My dog has hip dysplasia, so I'm glad it'll feel good when he gets a surgery.
yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah. And so, but getting my hips replaced was the best thing ever. I mean, I was back on the court in 6 months.
How long does a hip replacement last?
They say 15 to 20 years. So my right one's 15
See, ankles
years old.
aren't there yet.
No,
they're
I
only
know.
at like 5.
Knees
5
and ankles
years.
are like still fucked up.
This is too niche. I'll talk to you about this. I want to stick with basketball for a second. You guys just made a very important signing with Kyrie. 3 years, 126 million, which breaks down to $37,037,037 per year, which is kind of strange.
That is kind of strange. I never even noticed that till you just said it.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't even know it until you just said it.
Is that some sort of symbolism to the other Illuminati?
There you go, busting me on the Illuminati again, man.
Quite the polarizing figure.
He's not really though, right?
Well, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying
I'm just saying he's not. Like when there's people like you don't know, and like I don't know you guys, I don't know your brother, right? It's just like you just have your own social media interpretation, right? Or like your girlfriend and all that shit. Oh, he must be a dick, right? Fucking with his boy's girlfriend. And that's the kind of same thing with Kyrie. Kyrie is the dude in college where whenever he came over to your room, even if everybody's drinking, he wants to have a 2-hour deep conversation.
About the flat earth?
Not even. He doesn't believe that shit. Just about whatever. just about whatever, right? It's just like he wants to talk about how people feel. He wants to talk about, the plight of people who are disadvantaged, like deep shit, which is cool when you want to talk about deep shit. It's awful when it's like, Kyrie, come on now, the game's on, but that's just who he is. But I like him. I think he's a good dude.
Well, it boils down a lot to that whole horrible shut up and dribble mentality that people have been pushed into, which obviously I don't agree with. And when I say polarizing, I don't mean it in a right or wrong way. I just mean controversial. It's obviously driven a tremendous amount of conversation.
Look, I've been in the eye of the storm. This is what I told Kyrie. I've been in the eye of the storm, right? Everybody's coming down to me. Everybody thinks I'm a fuck up, whatever, multiple times. And then when that's how people are positioning you in the media, that's just your life for however long until it starts to blow over, right? And you can fight back or you just let it blow over and just be yourself
and perform.
On the court.
Athlete.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, he's probably one of the most skilled basketball players in the history of the NBA. I mean, he's that good. And him and Luka together are going to be fun.
It's going to be amazing to watch. Do you feel like there's any level of distraction that the off the court conversation brings along with it? And has there been any conversation around trying to corral that?
No. With Kyrie, I'm like, dude, just be yourself.
Got it.
Yeah, just be you, whatever, we'll roll with it. I know he's going to say shit I don't agree with, right? But there's a lot of people that work for me that I don't agree with, right? That I don't care about that. So no, and he's not in New York anymore, and that's a big difference. It's just a different media market. I just, and I think Kyrie just wants to win. He really, at the end of the day, he's going to be true to himself. He's one of the most authentic people I've ever met. He doesn't pull any punches, but he wants to win. He knows his legacy depends on winning.
It's interesting how social media, kind of like an onion, has stripped the layers of artists and athletes. 10, 20 years ago, you know these people for the way they perform or the way...
And your personal lives and everything else, you don't give a shit.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, you don't give a shit.
You don't know it, right?
Yep.
But now, humans, if they have social media, are inclined to show their lives off and maybe voice an opinion or thought.
Yeah.
Most people, I think, if you peel back their layers like an onion, become less desirable the more you know about
human.
them.
You're right.
They're human.
You're human. I'm as fucked up as they get, right?
Yeah, but still, then Mark, you're so liked and you're the man, but people know a lot about you, so you're in a unique position where you were able to strip back those layers and people are still fucking with you.
Well, yeah, but a big part of that is I just decided at one point it was like, you can't fight it. Right. And like you were saying before with the picture with your girl. And at the point, you just got to be authentic. And you call that bullshit where there's bullshit, and you don't try to change people's minds. You can't. You can't. You just got to roll with it.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, I admit my mistakes. If I get it right, I get it right. And if I think you're fucking with me, there's two levels. Right? If you're just some random that's fucking with me, I don't care. Right? But if Elon Musk wants to fuck with me,
let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's get it. Yeah, let's go. Right? Because I like that. Right? I like that. That challenge.
Yeah, you can punch up.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you ever avoid the conversation just because you know that it's gonna pull you into something that you're gonna have to fucking deal with for the rest of the day?
Yeah, on social media, definitely. Where people get my email, send me an email and everything. There's just times where you just gotta say no.
Dude, you responded to my brother's email once.
I did?
Yeah, about an idea he had.
Oh, I did?
Wow, this is crazy.
Was he 8 years old?
He wasn't 8. No. He was like he was a kid. I think he was probably 18 years old.
Oh, really?
Yep. This was 10 years ago. We were living in our first apartment in LA. We had just moved here.
Do you remember what his email address was?
It would be funny if he pulls it up.
It was
text him.
crazy to
Somebody
us
text
how
See if
he
you can find it.
responded. What was his email address?
Mark, I think Mark said that you will respond to people's emails.
Yeah,
Not
why-
all of them, though. Not all of them, right? But it just,
Why did you respond to his email?
I mean, I don't remember, but it was just like if I'm in a good mood, if I got time, like if I'm stressed for some reason, it's like delete. But
See, I
his
think
email
that-
was I really want to find his email address. I'm going to actually make an attempt here, but it was for this app idea that we had at the time called Locker Room, where
I think
girls and boys could post on their respective social medias, and the opposite gender wouldn't see what the other person's posting. Like girls could be girls and talk about girl stuff, and guys could be guys and talk about guy stuff.
This was locker room talk before Trump.
Yes.
right.
So
Yes.
you guys
And you were-
preceded that.
You responded and said it's a good idea, not a great one. And he printed it out and hung it on the wall for inspiration.
That is great.
I'm gonna try to find his email.
So when you said earlier that some of this stuff comes down to luck,
Uh-huh.
being a billionaire comes down to luck. I think you kind of just touched on it right there where you said if you're having a good day, you might respond to the email.
Exactly
If
right.
you're having a bad day, you might delete them all. Is there any advice you would give to somebody watching the show right now of how to break through the noise and
To me?
to anybody and maybe get to you
Just
on
you got to get right to the point, right? The longer the backstory, the worse the idea is, like my rule. So if you send me something or you're talking to me and the first thing is, here's my life story. I've tuned out the minute you said life story.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to hear all that because,
Oh, he'd be screwed. He's got a great backstory.
yeah, I'm sure it is. But after
but
we
I
make
don't
some
tell
money,
it.
yeah.
I say
Well,
try my cheeseburger. That's
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying.
right. So after we make some money, then you
Yeah.
can tell me your
Yeah,
story,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like to try to get my attention and make me feel sorry for you, right? Or some empathy for you, so that's going to mean I should pay more attention to your idea. No.
Well, and the other thing is, how do you get through this issue? What he just said is interesting because for me, my story is my product. Have you ever had a situation like that come to you? Like I have a best-selling book.
Uh-huh.
So like, what if somebody brought to you a story, and you skipped it? What if somebody brought to you a story that was so compelling that it could actually lead to a business in some fruition?
No, it's cool, right? I mean, look,
Pitch the product first.
Yeah, like I've invested over $100 million in people I've never met.
Right.
I've got this one company, Relativity Space, dudes from Dallas, and they had a way to, had an idea, and actually we're further along than just an idea, to create 3D printed rockets. Like this 3D printer that's like 90 zillion feet tall, right?
Real
shit. Yeah, real shit,
No,
right?
you just
And-
liked it because you want to go against Elon.
no, fuck no. This is before. This is like
3D
2014.
printed
Yeah,
rockets.
whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you some money. And then they started making progress, more and more progress. Last time they raised this summer, they raised at a $4 billion valuation. And like, I still have not met the dudes. And they're like, come watch this rocket
And they're
launch.
in Dallas?
No, they're now in Long Beach,
Okay, I was
California.
like, that's just later.
Yeah. And so, and they're like, come watch this launch. And I'm like, no, now it's like a great story, right? I don't want to
Yeah.
fuck it up.
I'm never meeting you.
No, I'm never going to meet you, right? Maybe when we IPO and it all cashes out.
I heard that you're net negative on Shark
On
Tank.
Shark Tank. So on a mark-to-market basis, no, I'm way up,
Oh.
right? So there's cash and there's mark-to-market, right? Like, for Prime, like what's it worth, right? So if I invested in you, I have, and I haven't gotten any cash back, then I'm negative, right? But if you had done a raise, so on a cash basis, I'm down a little bit. On a mark-to-market basis, like Beatbox Beverages just raised at $200 million. Dude Wipes is probably worth $200 million,
yeah.
right? And I've got, 10, 15, 20% of each one of those. And so, and I've invested probably $29 million across all of my Shark Tank deals and have gotten back in dividends and selling companies, maybe 26, 27.
Oh, so you're right there.
You're close.
Yeah,
And you still
yeah.
have all the equity.
Yeah, I still have all the
you're-
equity.
you're
Yeah.
crushing. Okay.
That seemed like a segue.
I'd like to pitch you something.
Wait, let me see if I can find your brother's email.
Type in locker room for.
Yeah, that's what I'm putting
you
in
have
Jake Paul.
Android?
I have both. I carry one of each.
Oh, that's nice.
Never heard anything like that.
That's interesting. It's like a
That's insane.
combination platter at
So
a Chinese restaurant.
a couple things. Like
There's
one,
pork and beef.
depends on what Locker room, not locker room. It depends on the network. Like, so one's AT&T and one's T-Mobile.
Mark, I'll be transparent with you. The pitch you're about to hear from this brother is way more relevant than the locker room pitch.
Okay.
I hate to say that. Jake, I'm sorry. I feel like it's a good idea, but not a great one.
Pete, we could send you the audio.
Just wait on you, Mark.
Wait, hold on.
Take it down.
I will. You'll never see me rush to a pitch.
This is good. This is good. You got to ice him.
We sent you, it was 2015.
Come back.
Yeah,
Come back.
Jake at Locker Room App.
Yes. Come back.
.co.
Come back.
Yes.
No way. That's amazing.
Okay, we sent you, check it out. And I'm like, once I get a chance, this was December 17th, 2015, so almost 8 years ago. Tell me when there are some users so I can check it out for real. I downloaded the app.
No way.
Yeah, genius app. Okay, so from Jake Paul, and who's Jeremy?
I don't even know.
Jeremy Green, Ping Tank.
Okay, probably a guy we had helping us.
Yeah. So wake up, Mark. Nice to meet you virtually. I like to sit down and talk to you about my app when you're available. What are your availabilities? I'll make anything work. Jeremy Green wrote, hey, Mark, meet my boy. He's a really big social media star. He has a great app you should take a look at. It's a genius idea. And he has about 12 million followers. His name is Jake Paul. Super cool dude. Trust me on this. All the very best, Jeremy Green, CEO, Ping Tank, P-I-N-G. Okay, this is the spot. What's up? Here's the deal from Jake. I have an app that I've developed. As you know, me and my friends have millions and millions of followers and billions of views. We will scale this company very quickly and easily. How'd that turn out?
Yeah.
You come on board as an advisor for the app, and my team and I and all my friends will help you launch any product that you have. One hand washes the other. Okay.
Well, I didn't know about that last part.
What's the app? It's called Locker Room. When you go to log in, it verifies your gender through Facebook. If you're a guy, it takes you to the guy's locker room. If you're a girl, it takes you to the girls' locker room. Once there, guys can't see the girls' side and girls can't see the guys' side. You can post videos, text, and photos. And guys can fully interact with only guys, talking about the Mavs game or the hot girls number who they just got, and girls can talk BS about their BS.
All right, Mark, listen.
Wait, it gets better.
Oh, okay.
It's not a horrible idea, but it's not a great one.
Yeah.
I don't think I could help as an advisor. Oh, then he gives me shit. Oh, he fucks with me.
Thank God you didn't stop.
Fucks with me. Yes. Right? So I have an app still called Cyberdust. It's a privacy app, right? It's just a messaging app. It's not big, it's tiny, but I use it because it's really private. And Cyberdust is a great idea. They should have called it, we're trying to be Snapchat. I'm blowing up your last email and I'm framing it in our office and I'll see you at Series A. Remember, social media is my mastery. I wouldn't make something that's dumb. I'm also 18. I know what the kids want. Thanks for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yo.
So I said, fuck you, bitch. No, I said, I will give you some free advice. Getting to Series A just means you haven't made any money yet. You still haven't accomplished anything. It's not a sign of success. So when you talk to someone else about asking for help, and remember, you asked me for help, adjust what you say. The goal is to make money, not to raise money. Hope you crush it.
Jake Paul versus Mark Cuban 2024.
He's
the problem
child. Whole conversation. I would like to ask him how he would have dealt with gender neutrality now, since the app is so.
Yeah, really. If now it'd be
you
like
would need
trans
10
and shit.
locker rooms.
That would be
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right.
Like,
That would be
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. You buy your trans.
people
You're
would be
this.
coming
and
from one locker room, switching to the other, like
Right.
back and forth. That was very interesting, and I did not expect that to happen.
I did not expect that.
I can't believe you found the
I also
email.
didn't expect you to have the email from 2015.
I like to keep all that shit. Yeah.
That was amazing.
We like to blow up things that inspire us. In the past, we did this a lot. Typically, like stuff that wasn't in our favor. And I remember, bro, seeing that email.
You really did print it out?
Hung out above his
That's
desk.
sweet.
Yep.
That's sweet.
Yep. All right, I got a pitch for you.
Okay, here comes the pitch.
I can't believe you had that email. And I can't believe I tried to stop you right before it got fucking amazing. See,
I had no idea.
patience. Sometimes you gotta be patient. Oh, sorry. Patience.
Dun 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 dun. Oh, I'm shocked.
Hello, Mark the Shark, and former opiate addict Mike. Today, I'd like to pitch you Prime hydration.
Okay.
Prime hydration was developed to.
No, why would you? Well, no.
Prime hydration was developed to fill the void where taste meets function. This is the fastest growing beverage in the world. And I'm not just saying that. That can be verified.
No, I know
the
it is.
stats. 825 milligrams of electrolytes, BCAAs, antioxidants, B vitamins, 10% coconut water, only 20 calories, and 2 grams of sugar. Mark, this is a big deal. We sell in the UK, Ireland, South Africa, United States, Canada, Australia, and Germany. We are the official sports drink of the UFC, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, FC Barcelona, and the Dodgers.
Good for you guys.
And I think you should really start paying attention to this drink. And yeah.
Sounds good, man. So wait, bring it over. Let me taste it. Has it got any caffeine in it?
This particular SKU does not have caffeine.
Because I can't do caffeine.
No, this does not have caffeine, but we also have Prime Energy, which does have caffeine, but that's for 18 plus. People by the likes of drink it and stuff.
Are you a strawberry watermelon guy?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Because we also have these.
Give
This
him
blue
the
raspberry.
blue.
Yeah,
give
I
him-
care more about what's in it, right? So let me take a
Give him
look.
the blue ras because of Dallas. Blue ras because of Dallas, and it's a better flavor.
Oh, you got potassium, 700 milligrams,
Pistachios?
right?
Yep.
Because potassium's the hardest thing to get.
We believe that most Americans don't suffer from sodium deficiencies.
No.
There's a lot of salt in what we
Yeah.
eat. And we went with potassium as our main electrolyte.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yep.
Dun 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 dun. It's good. Yeah, it's really good. I'll drink this. And honestly, I would drink Under Armour because they have a potassium one.
Under Armour's apparel.
No, they have a drink too.
Body Armor, right?
Body Armor, not Under Armour. I'm sorry. Yeah, Body Armor. And so I like this better. Yeah, for sure.
How much do you like it?
How much do you like it, Mark?
I would drink it. I would buy it.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
How much would you buy of it?
Enough till I'm pissing.
Yeah. So we don't need your money, Mark.
All right.
I'm not looking for an investment like a typical person pitching you.
Uh-huh.
This pitch is a little different.
All right.
I want to be the official sports drink of the Dallas Mavericks.
How much money you got?
Enough.
All right. We can figure that out.
I'm serious.
Yeah, so am I. I'll take your money. Let me give you a business idea.
Okay.
All right. So as a vegetarian, the hardest thing to get is iron. Because I don't eat meat anymore, and that's where you get most of your iron, right? So literally all day long, I munch on corn checks. Because corn checks and total cereal and rice checks, right? They have like 80% of the daily average requirement for iron.
Corn Chex flavored Prime. I like where your mind is going.
No, but if you get me a drink like this, which is only calories, because if I'm munching that shit all day long,
With iron.
it's kind of empty calories.
Carbs.
Yeah, and it's not even a lot of carbs, but it's just empty calories, right? And so if you can infuse iron in it, then all of a sudden you got a product specifically for vegetarians. And you know how many athletes also are becoming plant-based.
Kyrie is vegan, right?
I don't think he's vegan, but I think I'm not sure honestly. Okay. But all these guys that are gone.
We have our next product in mind. That could totally work. That's
I'm
really
just telling
cool.
you, because if it's just for vegetarians, the one drink, there are no other drinks for vegetarians.
So this one's vegan,
Right.
But it's not
It's not
going to
geared
fuel
towards
the vegetarian in a way that.
Because you get almost all your iron from chicken and fish and steak and everything. And if that's literally like if I just tried to get iron from food as a vegetarian, I'd be stuffed all day, every day.
Do you have a current sports?
Yeah, but I think
isotonic
it's falling.
partner?
I think it's expiring.
See, I heard that. I think I
Yeah.
heard that. And
But I have to check for sure.
yeah, man, I think it'd be so cool, especially if it originated here. That was the worst pitch ever, dude.
No, it was
do you
good,
guys
man.
have- do you have a deal?
Yeah, but I'll check it out. We can do something for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I think it'd be cool, especially if it started
got
out
you.
Impulsive.
Oh, that's close enough to a handshake.
Kev, you want to get a pop over there?
We're not really good at pitching on the show.
You don't have to look. Okay, so there's.
Well,
Yeah,
we've pitched
exactly right.
we've pitched other sharks. I pitched a real incredible idea for a pet airline called Terry Air, where Mark, I'm sure you have pets, yeah?
Yeah.
And you, of course, don't have any trouble traveling with them because you've got a jet. But the average American,
no, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah,
it's tough, right? Yeah. So imagine a airline completely catered around traveling with your pet friend. These dogs.
It's not the worst idea I've ever heard, but it's hard to make money off of it just because of the capital expense for the planes. That's why you see so many airlines go out of business and airlines lose money so often. It's not a great business.
Well, I figured this out. I haven't figured this out. You're absolutely right. It's a terrible idea.
But vitamin E products, iron products, like number of plant-based people who are on plant-based diets.
Oh, it's going crazy.
Is that true?
Now. Yeah.
So I went vegan for 4 months, and
vegan's too hard.
Worst decision of my life.
Yeah, it's too hard.
And I tried again, like 2 years later, and I had the same effect, which was like essentially my body just consuming itself.
Fatigue.
Extreme fatigue, lifting my legs out of bed in the morning.
No, I don't have that problem, but you've got to make sure you get all your nutrients.
You're eating eggs still?
Yeah.
Okay. See, okay.
Eggs and cheese for sure. Dairy.
I could see myself when I'm older and I have to pay attention to what's going into my body.
Trying to tell me, bitch?
No. I'm just call me bitch again. Call me bitch again. No, I do not. You don't look a day over 12.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think. Do you think the plant-based food industry is going to take off? Like,
so there's like Beyond Meat fucked up, right? They just went too big too fast,
okay,
as opposed to growing organically. But I think generally plant-based, yeah, because people eat too many processed foods and too much sugar and everything, and it just there's enough solutions now that it's easy.
Do you think people will start to care about their health in a way that is actually meaningful?
I think people do things that are easy. Mm-hmm. And if you make them think, it's like popcorn, right? Popcorn's easy and everybody thinks it's healthy, so people eat a lot of popcorn, right? And so if you make it easy, like this stuff's easy, right? Because you just pick up the drink and it's got nutrients and you get your electrolytes. So if you're working out, you're going to drink water, you can drink this, right? And if you make it easy for people to consume, then they'll think about their health. And so, it's easy now for me to be vegetarian. I could never be vegan because I need my cheese, I need my dairy and all that. But for vegetarian, and dairy doesn't mess me up too bad.
Okay.
But it also, it's got to taste good. People,
for sure.
people like in that vegan and ultra, health space, some of these people eat based strictly on macros and nutrients, but the average American, they're eating
it's not
food,
going to work that
they
hard.
have an emotional connection to the food. I have an emotional connection to the food.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, you should see, I would weigh 50 pounds, well, not 50 pounds. I would weigh, 15 pounds less if I didn't stress eat after Mavs lose the game.
Right.
Right.
What's your go-to?
Just whatever's in front of me because I got 3 kids, right? So whatever they got.
Well, the other issue too with
but you know what my real go-to is? There's 2 things. Used to be Ghirardelli chocolate chips, right? Because you could eat like 30 of them and they're only 72 calories. And now it's this Gatsby chocolate that we had on Shark Tank, which is like I can get a big bar and it's got fiber in it and it's got low net carbs. It's only 180 calories.
Does it taste good?
Tastes good.
See that, and that's the other thing too. A lot of the vegan stuff, like the Beyond Meat and stuff like that, it actually it either doesn't taste good or some of that stuff is worse for you.
Yeah, because it's got all the shit in it, right?
So much.
I
shit
agree with you. I agree with
like
you.
I'm in the burger space. I have right now it's a concept, but I'm gonna start doing brick and mortar soon on this burger brand called 1010 Burger because I've been in the burger space reviewing for years, and I'm watching Kevin Hart with Hart House.
Yeah,
and bro, he's opening these like really massive locations with this vegan burger, and I drive by him. There's like doesn't seem like there's that many people like rushing to eat.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know what is delivery or whatever. But the vegan burger is more there. Like if you bring in 5 people and one of them is a vegetarian, I think when people talk about vegan foods, they only think vegan. They don't think vegetarian, right? There's a whole lot more vegetarians than there are vegans. And there's a whole lot of vegetarians who tried to be vegans and couldn't.
Yeah.
So like if I don't mind eating vegan or vegetarian burgers. It's healthier.
How about them Texas Rangers?
Woo! What the fuck?
His commercial aired during Game 7 last night for Prime.
Damn.
I didn't even know that.
Damn.
It was a big deal, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I went to do my WWE promo last night, before I started doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were.
What kind of promo? What do they have you doing?
Yesterday was I was talking shit, man. What's new? Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. But before I did it, they
are you going to get to go out there?
I have an event in Saudi in like 2 weeks.
And what are you
taking out Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship?
What?
Yeah.
See, I have my rule. I told Vince I have 2 rules, right? And I'll get in the ring. I got to be able to hit somebody, and I got to be able to get hit.
Yeah, right? Mark.
And it's great. So I took my bump.
It was good.
No, I had. Did you see it?
It was a very good bump. Because you never know. You put someone like that's not a wrestler in the ring. This was the sentiment for me as well. You're like, what's going to happen? And a lot of celebs take real like whack ass bumps. You face planted.
Oh no! And then I got put into a table. Right, that was the worst.
Damn.
It was Sheamus. Right, Sheamus had never been knocked down, so I'm like, okay, we got the setup. Right, bam. Right, and she gives me the right. How did this happen? Yeah. Right, and then Cena just happened to put a table over in the corner. Right, and they told me rule number 1 because you practice this shit. Right, and they told me keep your head down again his back. Right, because if you hit wrong, you're toast, right?
Yep.
I'm like, cool. I'll do that. And they're like, we're gonna put you right in the middle of the table. It wasn't a special table. It was just a regular IKEA or whatever table. And it'll break because it'll be right in the middle of the table. Fucking missed the middle of the table.
Yeah.
Goes high, and like I get hit. I'm like, the adrenaline is rushing. I go down and I do my thing. The next day,
tough.
I was like 90 years old, man. That shit hurt.
Yeah.
It's actually funny that all 3 of us on the show right now have taken a WWE bump.
It's cool.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah,
that's insane. Because I had a similar experience. I got the shit beat out of me in Saudi by the Usos.
They smoked them.
And they killed me. And the next day I woke up and I was in a lot of pain. And I didn't do shit compared to what these guys do.
I just saw Tyson Fury, who, by the way, is fighting Francis Ngannou this weekend, which is crazy.
Right.
But he came out and said, WWE is harder than boxing, which is what I've been saying, because the wear and tear on your body and
insane.
And if you don't follow the protocol and the strategy right,
like one dude, I forget who it was, but they had a shovel in the thing, and it hit him wrong. And he was sliced and bleeding everywhere.
Yeah. I'm collecting my scars. I had a crazy botch move going wrong, but it's fun. But before my segment, they were chanting, "Let's go Rangers!" And I was, yo, what are they? What? This is WWE.
What's going on, right? What's going on?
That's a weird like rooting situation to watch Houston versus Texas. And I think about these people in Houston. Like, are the people in Houston all Houston fans?
Or for the most part. Yeah. Just because it's called Texas doesn't mean you're
gonna No, I get that. Yeah. But I was so one of 6 MLB teams that has never won a World Series.
Never. Yeah. Now they made it twice in like 2010 and 11.
Yeah.
But and it just come out of nowhere, right? Because they got out of the gates really strong at the start of the season, and then at the end they just were dropping like a rock, and it looked like they might not even make the playoffs. And then bam, they just go on a run.
When's the last time a wild card team won a World Series? It's got to have been
I don't even know.
They're 8-0 on the road in the playoffs.
It's insane.
Yeah, they're crushing
it.
This Houston and Dallas back and forth reminds me that we had Tillman Fertitta on the. I think he owns the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Is you guys cool? Or
we're cool. Yeah, I mean I don't know him real well, but we're cool.
Is there like any ever beef between you and other like team owners that you really want to beat them and it's personal?
Nah. No, I don't. I just don't give a fuck that much.
The sport is the sport.
Yeah.
How do you allocate your time? Because you're still going really, really hard.
Yeah, because I like it. I do shit I like. I'm lucky. I only get to do what I like to do, right? So cost plus, other than family, cost plus drugs is probably 70%, and the Mavs are 30%. Except during free agency, then the Mavs are 100%, and everything else goes second.
Okay.
Cost plus drugs. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
70% of your time.
Yeah. So costplusdrugs.com. I got into the pharmaceutical business, right? The drug industry, because it's so fucked up. Here we are in 2023, and people have to choose between their medicine, their rent, their daycare, their food, all this shit, right? And when you look at the industry, it's always been done the same way for the last 20 years, and their whole mission is just to fuck people. And so we said we're going to create this this company, costplusdrugs.com. And what we're going to do that's different is we're going to show you our cost, exactly what we pay for it. And we're going to mark it up 15%, charge you shipping and handling, and that's going to be the price.
Transparency.
So, complete transparency, which doesn't happen in the drug industry at all. Like if you go to the pharmacy, you got no idea what you're going to pay for something, right? And so like you guys are independent contractors, so you might have some insurance or might not, but with your deductibles, you're paying out of pocket for everything, right? And so you go to costplusdrugs.com for whatever it is you need, or your grandma, your dad, your mom, whatever. We're going to save you a fuckload of money.
Have the big pharma companies been trying to bury
You really want that smoke?
Oh, fuck yeah. I want to fuck them up. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point.
But are they trying to like?
Yeah. So there's this thing called pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs, that own insurance companies. And, you know, they haven't fucked with us directly, just indirectly, like telling people not to do business with us and stuff. But we've got like millions of users, right? And so people are coming in, and like I'm used to people coming up to me and say, let's go Mavs, right? Or I love you on Shark Tank or this or that. But now
Let's
people
go pharmaceuticals.
No, it's like people walking up to me and hugging me.
I can
like,
afford to live.
Yeah.
because
change
of
your
you.
life. Like, you know, yesterday it was like, you know, someone here came up to me and goes like, one of my really good friends has cancer and he was having to pay $400 a month out of pocket. You guys were $16 a month.
Dude, how much do you know about, you're like the anti-Martin Shkreli.
Oh
How
yeah,
much
he tried
do
to
you-
fuck me. I
how-
don't.
Oh yeah?
He
Oh,
tried
I
to
don't
fuck
even
with
know
me,
about
yeah.
your guys' situation, but how
Yeah.
much do you know about
No, I know
what
everything he did. Yeah.
And why he says he did it. Do you believe he, so
He
Martin
just tried to
Shkreli,
make money. Yeah.
for anybody who doesn't know, raised the price of,
It was a generic drug, right? It was a generic drug, and he raised it from like $75 to like 75. Yeah, 7,500. Yeah.
What was the drug again? Was it
Daraprim?
is it an anti-HIV?
I don't remember what it
drug
does,
or
but it's
something?
Daraprim.
Whatever, but he raised the price by like 100x. Like just one
At
day,
least, yeah.
the drug
Boom.
that you need to survive went
Because
from
he thought it
75
was
to
underpriced.
7,000.
And so, and actually, he deserves a little bit of credit for what we're doing, because if that motherfucker couldn't raise prices like that, that was an indication to me that how fucked up the business is.
Well, that's what he said. He said he was doing that to showcase the issue in the pharmaceutical space.
Fuck no, he was doing it to make money, right?
He was
Because I did it the exact
opposite.
opposite. Yeah, I did the exact opposite, right? Because if you can raise prices like that, you could also be transparent and cut the prices, and that's what we did. Like there's drugs, imatinib, which is another cancer drug, that if you just walked right now today, you needed that drug, and you walked into CVS or some big pharmacy, they're going to charge you $2,000. We'll charge you $61.
That's insane.
Like there was another one, a friend of mine was in this horrible accident way back when and was paralyzed, and he needs this drug called droxidopa. He lost his insurance, and they were going to charge him $10,000 every 3 months. Our price was like $51 every 3 months.
that is insane,
It's
man.
incredible because they'll just rip you off.
It's really noble, dude. Out of everything you've done, that's the
No,
coolest, I think.
that's because it's actually Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drugs. So it's the only company I've ever put my name on it.
No
because
way.
to get started, we had to get these companies to sell to us. And we don't have all drugs, but just to get like the first 1,500 drugs, I had to put my name on it just to show them I was serious and not talking shit.
I was gonna ask, how do you get these drugs without jumping through like FDA hoops? Or
Well, initially it's generic drugs, right? So we just buy them and we sell them. Our business is really easy. We buy drugs, we sell drugs, we show you our costs, we show you our markup. So if you go to costplusdrugs.com and you just put in whatever. So, okay, maybe I'm not 12, but guys my age like to use generic Cialis, generic Viagra, right? You go buy, typically now you'll pay $1 a pill, $2 a pill and think that's cheap. You go to costplusdrugs.com and put in tadilafil, which is generic Cialis. You can buy 90 of them for $8.
Jesus,
plus
that's
shipping
so
and
much,
handling.
so many boners.
Yeah, no shit, right? It's like, yeah, right. Cheaper. Like my buddy yesterday was laughing. He texted me. He goes, "It's cheaper than fucking M&Ms, dude."
No, for real.
Yeah.
We have a very diverse viewership here. Males, females, many of them very interested in cost savings and cost cutting. We're here to pitch you today on a potential partnership with the Impaulsive program for Care Plus. Drugs,
Okay.
Cost Plus
Where you guys go.
You already botched it.
You bought yours too.
Yeah.
We're not pitchers. Okay. For Cost Plus Drugs. We'd like to promote it here on the program, drive traffic to site,
Cool.
and we'd love to talk to you about an ongoing partnership.
Cool. Yeah. But I'll tell you, we have not spent a penny on advertising or marketing and never will.
We're a brand safe.
Damn. Let me just tell you why,
Once
though.
the
Let me
last part came out, I really shut down.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me tell you why, though, right? Because if you save $2,000 a month on your medication, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Tell everyone.
Tell everybody you know.
yeah.
If you're getting a hard on every 15 minutes what's the first thing your wife's going to do?
Tell
everybody, right?
I'm sure I don't have to lecture you on the importance of brand building. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that you're getting a lot of traffic through word of mouth, and that's great. But what we want to do with you is we want to build out a brand. We want to show people who you are, what you represent, really drive home that cause marketing angle of this. That's what we want to do here on this show.
I think that's awesome. So let me pitch you something.
Sure.
Guys, if you have the opportunity to help millions of your viewers and their families by saving them on medication every single day, you know it's not about money.
Yeah.
You know it's about the joy. You know it's about the peace it's going to bring you. You know that you literally are going to wake up every morning of every fucking day for the rest of your life saying, because we sponsored costplusdrugs.com.
We'll do it for free.
Everybody that listens to this show has a little bit more money to buy fucking Prime, motherfuckers.
I'm sold,
yeah.
Mark Cuban, costplusdrugs.com. Save yourself, save your life, save your money.
And buy Prime with that savings.
Buy Prime when you save the money. No, you're actually right.
Well,
that wouldn't be a sponsor. Why would we charge?
Well, for today, I think it's great that we do it today, and we will keep all the names. We'll actually even include a link. Unfortunately, Mark, I do have to tell you, we have a lot of overhead on the show. We've got people we have to fly around, and unfortunately, doing free promotions.
Fuck Prime.
Damn. That's what you could be ultimately.
No, actually, this stuff is actually really good.
Thanks, man.
I'm on my second bottle.
Thanks.
Here.
How much of
a lot.
Cost Plus Drugs to you is more than a business, more than another entrepreneurial
100%,
pursuit,
100%.
and it being your second mountain where you actually get to help people?
100% of it.
That's why it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, nobody in this country thinks healthcare is run well. No. Nobody thinks
it's so
about,
bad.
okay, maybe you trust your doctor, but the minute you get hurt, the minute you're sick, the minute anything happens, right? Like your ankle, right? Who the fuck knows what you're going to do? You trust your doctor and you're trying to figure it out. But the minute you say yes and you know it's going to cost you money, it all goes to shitter, right? You don't know how much you're going to pay. You don't know what your insurance is going to cover, if anything. You don't know if their hospital is going to charge you extra on shit. That's what I'm trying to change.
Our health system in this country is potentially the most fucked up thing about this
100%.
country.
100%.
Namely, what you're talking about, prescriptions for sure, but namely on the mental health side.
Yeah, 100%
It
It's
is
a mess.
mind-blowing to imagine that the process has become so financially democratized and so non-transparent where, I mean, if I told you how long it takes for the average person out there to get an appointment with a psych or with a therapist through their insurance, it is absolutely
Well, see, and that's part of the
wild.
problem. So that's part of what we're trying to fix, right? So when you look at healthcare insurance, the concept of insurance is everybody pays premiums in, there's a big pool of capital, and for shit the individuals can't afford or companies can't afford, right? They cover it because they've got this pool of capital. That's not what happens now, right? It's the exact opposite. They do everything they can not to spend the money. And so I've told companies, like I'm walking into CEOs right now of big companies and saying, look, bro, you should stop using insurance companies. Healthcare insurance is dead. If you're buying health, there's no reason for any companies to buy healthcare insurance. There's, like with my companies, there's direct contracting. There's a bunch of things that you can do that are far more cost effective, but allows you to avoid your employees having to deal with denials, right? With claim denials or, pre-approvals that get denied. It's just insane the way it works. And that's part of what we're trying to fix.
Do you think there's certain portions of society, at least in America, that would benefit from not being capitalistic in structure?
I'm a hardcore capitalist, right?
Sure.
But capitalism is about people, right? Capitalism is about people. The people that are starting companies and not starting companies. And so there are always going to be good people that come from the right place and fucked up people, right? Whether you're communist, socialist, or capitalist, that's not going to change. That people are going to get fucked one way or the other because but the good news is with a capitalistic system where somebody is willing to do the right thing, a lot of people can benefit. In socialist systems, if there's any corruption at all, like you see in a lot of countries, nobody benefits and everybody gets fucked. Right. If
it's
I'm
democratized a little bit.
Yeah. Cause like no one's stopping me from doing this except competitors. Right. If you're in a socialist country and the dictator, whoever is in charge doesn't want you doing it, you're fucking going to jail.
Right.
And nobody benefits.
Do you think that
I'll take our system?
Do you think that the capitalistic approach can especially in success, can sometimes take people who started off with pure intentions and turn it into a profit only.
Oh, fuck yeah. Structure. Yeah, of course. You see that all the time. But again, you have to say, what's the worst case scenario, right? And if you've got a dictator, it's whatever they decide.
For sure.
Right? I mean, you guys go to Saudi. Whatever the family decides,
yep.
Good, bad, and different, right?
Yep.
That's what they decide. Here, you know, even though people think the Illuminati and the World Economic Forum and all these conspiracy people, no, man, because like I can start shit like this. You guys can do something that makes you money and helps people, right? You can get involved in all the programs you want to help people. You can give this to people, you know, that can't afford it's up to you, right? And there's nobody who's going to stop you. That's the difference. When good people do good things in a capitalistic system, it's hard to stop them. When good people try to do good things that disagree with the people in charge in a socialist or other similar types of system, whoever's in charge,
no checks and balances.
Whoever's in charge, fuck you, you're gone.
There's a lot of young and younger people, you know, watching this episode right now, who are probably still in the decision-making phase around what they want to do with the rest of their lives. Do you have any sector or industry-based advice on where you think the next, you know, big areas of the world are?
That's a cool question. You got to know AI. Yeah. Right. There's only two types of companies in this world: those who are great at AI and everybody else, because AI is going to take over everything, everything. Now, does that mean there's going to be some like Will Smith AI, you know, type? No, I don't believe that the AI is going to take over any of that shit, right? Because you can just pull the plug.
What are you doing? AI.
Everything. I sit there and I fucking read the fucking manual. I take everything. I chat GTP or Bard, all that shit. Yeah. Invest in companies that do it. You got to know it. You got to know it.
I bet you another big portion of that is as AI continues to, you know, garner exposure and its own, you know, level of intelligence, its application to physical robotics is going to continue to also exponentially
Well, there's two types
increase.
of different things. There's multiple types of AI, right? So there's the chat GPT, which are called large language models, which kind of emulate question and answer, chatbot type stuff, right? And then there's machine learning, neural networks, and comparable things that allow you to work on the business side of things, right? So you can have it do computer vision to, you know, pick, you know, like Amazon's starting to create these robots, right, that use computer vision and know where to put things and how to move things and all that kind of stuff. I've got companies that like use computer vision and then analyze it with machine learning to see if a leak's coming out of a pipe, right? So you can use machine learning, all that. Big companies like Google use it to analyze their sales, what are the best platforms to sell on, where do you get the greatest return? Like you guys have to go through that thing out of the top of your head and you run spreadsheets like, okay, where should we spend our money? Where should we spend our time? And you try to get the most that you can out of earned media, right? Because that's the biggest bang for the buck. But once you get past earned media and you guys out there humping, right? Then it's like, where do we spend our money? Then they talk about, you know, return on ad spends and, you know, customer acquisition costs and all that shit. But it's still a guess and you don't know until after the fact. And where people are starting or have been using in big companies, AI is to say, take all the data that we have for that stuff and analyze where the best outputs are and where we should spend our money. Now, the challenge is Google and Facebook on the other side are saying, okay, we're reading everything that everybody else is doing. How do we react to that? That's why you don't always get the same return on your ad spend, because whether it's a sponsorship or SEO, whatever, because they're always adjusting their algorithms.
You know about all that. So you know about all the SEO, SMO, like all that stuff. You pay attention to all of it.
Yeah. Now I'm not in the details and the weeds like I used to be.
But you understand it.
I understand it all.
Is there any part of business that you don't understand?
No.
HR.
Yeah. Whatever.
Everything.
Yeah.
You know how everybody's talking to each other in each department. You know how.
No, I don't know what everybody's saying, right? But I know what it all means and what they're trying to accomplish. You can put me in any business, anywhere, anytime, you know, in the world, and just say, okay, figure it out, and I will.
Did you ever make the conscious decision to go from business guy who thoroughly understands business to personality? Like you did at one point.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I guess it was conscious. It was just like, okay, I've accomplished this in my life, business wise, financially. How the fuck can I have more fun?
Okay,
that's what it came down to.
What was the first like media forward facing thing you did?
Probably before I bought the Mavs, I would do panels and I did a thing for Samsung and for Dell where just ads and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then when I bought the Mavs, that's when it blew up because I was getting fined and everything. So I was on every TV show, every late night talk show, all that, just like you guys, right?
Yeah.
Because
Boys,
yeah,
make your rounds.
yeah.
Did it make his acting dreams come true?
Yeah.
Did it make my acting dreams come true?
You saw some?
Oh no, yeah. Hey, look. So after I sold my first company and I was bought that lifetime pass in American Airlines, I moved to LA, got a spot on the beach, had 2 flight attendants that were my roommates because I traveled and they traveled. It was perfect. And I started taking acting classes, not because I really wanted to act it. I wanted to act. I just wanted to meet hot girls, right? And it was just like,
In acting classes?
yeah,
Yeah, but
fuck
those are the weird ones, man.
Does it really matter? Because I would be like, because you'd have to do these scenes and everything. And I'd be like to my acting teacher, please, there's this one makeout scene in this one play and, put me with so-and-so.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hysterical.
The actresses are tough, man. For a long-term relationship, it's hard.
He
It's
dated
hard.
an actress.
What?
You're talking long-term relationships?
No, not that.
He had a
kind of
long-term
actress.
relationship with the actress.
That's not that kind of actress. I'm talking about real actresses. Like, yeah. No need to go there. We've moved on. But listen, I know you want to do it, but you're not doing it today because we're done with that. You can't read them. They can lie to you to your face, and it's like
that's scary.
it's like they're reading a script. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
babe, I would never.
The
do
operative
that to you.
words-
Cue the tears. You know what I'm saying? Like
The operative words were long-term relationship.
Well, so what are you just not were at one point you weren't a long-term relationship type of guy?
I was a 6-minute relationship guy, right?
Can relate.
Damn respect.
When did it change?
When I came back to Dallas and met my now wife at the gym when I was playing ball, I got introduced to her, and that's when it started to change.
What was different?
More me than her. She's awesome, right? We've been married 22 years.
Timing.
Timing more than anything else. I didn't get married till I was 44.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's funny because people always talk about meeting the right one, but when in reality, it's more like meeting the right person at the right time.
Like in my first company, I dated this girl who's awesome, really, really cool. But I was like, I'm on a mission, right? I haven't taken a vacation in 7 years. I'm on a mission. Yeah. She's like, when are we going to settle down? And I'm like, what's your name again? It's just like, I was on a mission and they knew it. And it was just, but once I got to the point where the mission changed, that's when it was ready.
Was it easy for you right off the bat? Because I've had a little friction. I was a little bit of a fucker myself.
A little bit of a player, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And I'm in a relationship now, and I had a little bit of friction in the beginning, especially when I was like transitioning out of that.
How old are you?
38.
All right. See, that's the thing, right? Because I remember vividly being 38, right? And thinking, okay, should I is it time for me to get married, right? Is it just that time when things are going to happen? And I almost rushed into something I shouldn't have rushed into. But then when, Tiffany came along, it was kind of like, okay, this is easy. But even then, we dated 5 years before we got married.
Got it.
You are going to be remembered for a lot of things. Is that something that's important to you? Like, do you think about legacy at all?
It's funny. I never really did until Cost Plus Drugs because it's like, that's why I put my name on it, because if I get done what I want to get done, shit's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And it'll be one of those things just like, fuck, didn't happen, did happen.
Yeah.
Right. And everything changed. Now, still just a 10% chance I get there. But yeah. And then, going back to ChatGPT. So I'm going out to meet with Google and just some of the people, it's just random stuff. And one of the things I want to pitch to them, like with ChatGPT, like I do everything via email. And so I literally, going back years, have maybe 1 million emails that like the ones you saw, right? Yeah. I want them to be able to write, to be able to update ChatGPT for me, at least just a special app for me, where I can take all those emails and ingest it and train a model so that long after I'm gone,
that you can be emailing Mark Cuban.
I'll be fucking immortal.
Have you seen? There's an episode of
How
Black
cool is
Mirror.
that shit, though,
There's
right?
an episode of Black Mirror,
right?
that
And when I say
describes this.
immortal, I don't mean like, but could you imagine? Okay,
Sounds like something the Illuminati would say, man. I'm not.
Yo. So I have this company, Hypervision, right? The sphere and everything and how crazy that is.
For sure.
So in the lobby of the Sphere, they set up these 18-foot holograms. And when they were testing it, they used me because I trained one for them. And so I was like an 18-foot hologram.
Sick.
So imagine 110 years from now, right? There's going to be a fucking hologram of whoever, right? And if you keep all your emails and all your texts and all your shit, how are they going to know the difference?
Of course, it can understand, learn, and then project your personality.
How insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I guarantee you that is a fact that will
Oh, for
happen.
sure. For sure. It's inevitable. 18-foot tall Mark Cuban talking to you exactly like Mark Cuban.
No, but
would.
it's going to get deeper
Yeah.
than that. It's not going to be something that could be contained in a Jim Dolan run structure. It's you know what I'm saying? I'd like to ask you about your relationship with him.
I get along great with Jimmy. I mean, he can play guitar too. He's a cool
Oh,
dude.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But at some point, they're going to implant that AI, that intelligence, into a lab-grown
human.
human.
This is a Black Mirror
Fuck yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah. You right? Could you see a fucking little salamander? And he was saying, what up, Mark?
No,
That's
Not
dark
a laser.
AI.
Not
You
a
know,
laser.
Cosplay
It'll
drunk.
It'll be human. You know, it'll look
A
like
Mark Cuban salamander. A Mark Cuban AI salamander. Yeah.
Would you put in these drinks?
There's a little LSD in those.
Yeah, right?
LSD,
Chuck Schumer.
Yeah. Oh my God. What was that one thing that went viral? Not my chair, not my problem.
Yes.
Yes.
One of the most famous YouTube videos of all time. What's the name of it? He was in a closet.
Yes.
He was on acid.
For sure.
Oh,
yeah,
He
for
was-
sure.
he was
And
like,
he
House
was just like,
rule.
yeah, not my chair, not
Yeah.
my
Not my
problem.
chair, not
Come
my
on
problem.
over here, Mr. Stairman.
Get real.
Staircase man.
Get
Get
real.
real.
Lighthouse is rule.
I love that one.
I forgot the title of the video now.
I don't remember.
Oh shit, Mark Cuban. I think that's all we got for you, man.
No,
wanna
man,
play-
come
we
on. This
wanna-
is rolling. We're having fun.
Oh, okay,
if
cool.
you got more
yeah,
time,
we're happy
yeah.
to keep going for sure. I'll ask you this question, Mr. Cuban. Are you Cuban?
Nah, Russian. Athlete.
Okay, I'll ask you this question, Mr. Russian. Victor Wembanyama.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of him?
He's a baller. He can play. It's just a question, can he hold up physically? But yeah, he's skilled as fuck.
You think because he's just so long? He's like
It's just
body wise?
Just tall and skinny, right? And just getting beat up, just all the physicality. Because every big player in the NBA that's got any mass to them at all is just going to try to just run him over.
But the physical, let's agree on this. Do you feel like the physicality of the game is what it wants? Because as an older
It's
man,
different. It's different.
Well, I look back at, the
Yeah,
Pistons, Knicks.
Yeah, Rick Mahorn. There's no Rick Mahorn. Those
they
guys.
would just be knocking each other
The
out.
game
like-
has changed, right? But it's so fast that it becomes physical, right? If you're running and going, the ball's moving, everybody's crashing the boards for rebounds. That shit's physical. It's just not the same. Give it to Shaq, get out of the way, and let him pound the ball and turn around and dunk on somebody. You got to move, but when you're up in the air, people are hitting you.
Yeah.
How do you raise kids as a billionaire and expect them to be like normal people?
It's hard. Fortunately, my wife is super chill and cool, and my kids are 14, 17, and 20 now, and they've turned out pretty good so far. Knock on wood. Yeah, you never know, right? But they're really good kids and they're smart. Are they entitled to a certain extent? Yeah, for sure.
Why?
Yeah, look, you guys have had to bust your ass and been through shit, right? They're never going to be through any shit. I'm not going to let that shit happen.
You didn't want to throw them in a lake or a freezing cold lake in the winters or something?
Doesn't everybody?
No, but actually, that's what my dad did to me.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Stairs.
My dad
too.
would sometimes it's we don't like to talk about that. But yeah, hardship defined my childhood, and it forged a pretty mentally strong human.
Yeah.
But you also work your ass off. So did you try to instill that in your kids at all, or
not like
intentionally
that?
put them through
No.
hardship?
Like you got to figure things out for yourself, right? But even there's just no way to recreate that.
Yeah, there's not,
right?
yeah.
Because like my parents didn't go to college. My dad did upholstery on cars and seats and shit, and he worked all day every day, right? Maybe had Sundays off, and so I always wanted to make more and he wanted me to make more, right? But I saw how tough life was on him and my mom and what they had to do for me and my two younger brothers. And you get to see that too. There's no way I could recreate that with my kids.
It would be hard when I'm in my head, thinking about how I want to raise hardworking, respectful humans and bring them into this world in the way that I think I was raised, the only way to really do it would be to like
throw away all the money.
Throw it away.
Yeah.
Move back to
just
regular
not,
life.
Or just not expose them to it as much whenever possible.
But you can't, right?
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a ride on the plane. And
Yeah.
Now you got to ride economy with them.
Yeah, right. And they do. They fly commercial or whatever. And so it's not like they feel entitled from the perspective of give me everything, I'm doing nothing. Right? It's more that they don't have to worry about that next dollar, and they never will, and they know it.
Yeah.
Right.
But there will be other hardships, right? Like if there's something about life, it's that like, dude, the hardships are coming. Like
No doubt.
regardless of like where you
are
your parents
financially,
have in the bank,
right,
so on and
right.
so forth. They just look different.
It's
they
just
look dramatically
different types of hardships than we face, right?
Yeah.
Their back is never going to be against the wall financially, and that builds, some level of character, right?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, just living in this day and age, particularly as my kids, right? They're going to be fucked with, and they are fucked with, right? On social media or whatever.
Yeah.
And that has good side and bad side. When you guys have kids, it'll be the same way.
Yeah.
Right?
Not to mention pressure. Like it's like, imagine like your son, like your father is one of the greatest entrepreneurs of all time. Like there has to be some level of pressure having to live up to that. Like
Yeah,
if
well,
you're,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like there's a million like little different ABC
And they have to find their own path, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we tell them, right? We know you don't have to run my companies, you don't have to run the Mavs. You got to find your own path. And wherever that takes you, we're cool with that.
Do they intend on doing any of that?
As of now, no.
Really?
Yeah, no.
It would be cool to pass down,
Yeah, but they're too young. Like they're 14, 17, and,
Yeah, they're
20.
young, they're young.
It's, you're talking 10, 15 years away, and who knows what they're going to be like.
What is 20 into?
She is a sophomore in college, and she's into trying to get good grades.
Cool.
And she busts her ass, and she's smart. But like I tell them, they don't have to know what they're going to be when they grow up yet. Like I didn't know what I was going to be when I grew. I knew I was going to be in business, but I changed majors, this and that, and I don't expect them to be, anything but themselves.
I was in cost plus drugs until I was 28.
Right?
Same type of business. I bought and sold drugs.
Right?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
not legally. But and then I tell people that all the time. It's never too late. There's a lot of young people watching this. There's a lot of people in their 30s watching this right now, and I always deliver that message.
Whenever you figure it out, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about the education industry?
It's fucked up too, right? It's
Yeah.
really fucked up. I mean, like in terms of going to college, I went to Indiana University and I love IU, but if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. And the dumbest thing you can do is just take out a shitload of loans and fuck up your future. And so, I tell people go to community college. Accounting class is accounting class, whether it's at a community college or at Harvard. Psychology is psychology for the most part, whether it's community college or Harvard. So get those first couple years of your introductory
2 years,
classes.
transfer.
But transfer where you can afford to go. And I think the college business is fucked up enough. You're starting to see a couple colleges like close to bankruptcy. I think you're going to see more.
Wow.
Oh, you think the college dream is kind of like dying off a little bit?
I don't think it's the college dream that's dying off. I think it's the colleges are so misrun, where it was so easy because it was easy money. Like when any business, like, your former pharmaceutical business, any business, if people can borrow money and sell shit to borrow money, if it's easy to borrow money, prices go up, right? And that's what happened with college. If everybody could borrow any amount of money and you couldn't even declare bankruptcy to get rid of it, college prices went up. And so you got to go to a school you can afford, because the delta between, the most basic 4-year school and the best public universities is really small.
It would be so cool to disrupt the education system.
It would be cool.
It's just so hard because the curriculum is approved by like local governmental bodies and
In high school now, that's what's fucked up there. Right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like young people learning
It's a
shit
myth.
that they'll never use, legitimately never use.
Yeah,
Like,
but there's. Go ahead.
I was just saying, unless you get into a trade, like, dude, I loved calculus and math. I was very good at math. I've forgotten all of it, and I've never used.
Yeah,
any
but
of
you
it
knew
once.
that you could learn the shit, right? And so
I learned how to learn.
You learn. That's the most important skill.
Yeah.
Like when people say, "What did you get from Indiana University?" I learned counting this, but I learned how to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't learn in that manner thereafter.
Oh yeah, you do.
You think so?
Oh fuck yeah.
In what
How
way?
did you get into this? How did you learn about the podcast business? You fucking read all you can. You keep up with everything.
I didn't. I learned through doing.
Well, but still, right? You had to have the basics, right? Either you learned it yourself, or you found somebody that you can depend on that could do it, and then you had to figure out. You had to put in the time to learn the industry to know what works, and you had to make your mistakes, but you still had to learn. And it's no different in high school, whether it's biology or calculus or whatever. You got to just be there, learning the shit, and figure out. You have the confidence to figure out whatever they put in front of you.
But I think the conversation we're having right now is the conversation is like, do you want these kids nose down in the books, or do you start them in a real world scenario earlier on? Like I could have been we started this podcast together in 2018 in a little bit of an earlier time for podcasts. We could have very well studied Call Her Daddy, studied Rogan, talked about it, sat down, had dinners, did this, did that. This podcast is what it is because we one day decided to start a podcast.
That's because this is an industry that you can start cheap.
For sure, but like trade.
And by the way, I did the first podcast 1995.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like literally.
Was it on broadcast.com?
Broadcast, like AudioNet, yeah.
Damn.
But I just look at like some of the trade stuff, and I've always been really envious of the trade kids.
But that's just
Like,
going to
they're-
change too. That's just going to change. There's no guarantees. Technology changes everything all the time. Doesn't matter if you're a plumber, you're an electrician, whatever. You're going to put into ChatGPT. You're going to put in a picture. You're going to put in the wiring in your house, and you're going to say, tell me exactly what to do. You can put on your VR goggles, and it's going to look at it and using computer vision, going to tell you, don't do this, red, blue, whatever, right? And figure it out. Now all of a sudden that trade that you're dependent on.
That's the scariest. It's like, dude, like imagine when the CEO of Blockbuster found out like, your
We're
business
fucked.
model doesn't exist anymore.
Fuck, right?
That's
CD
got to be
company,
one of the worst.
CDs, DVDs, right? All the,
Like you did everything right, and just because of the movement of time and technology, your entire life is.
when I was in high school, I took typing on a real fucking typewriter. When was the last time you even saw a typewriter?
On a typewriter?
Yeah, on a typewriter.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's fucking.
But
when
we
was the last time
took
you
it
ever?
on a keyboard.
Yeah, but when was the last time you even saw a typewriter?
I have one, so
Okay.
well, maybe a couple weeks ago. But
It's
before
kinda-
that, no.
Anybody
never.
else? Anybody in the audience ever see a fucking typewriter? Know what it is?
No.
No, it's just like we were at Shark Tank doing something, and Dame and John, we were somewhere, and there was a rotary dial phone, right? Like a payphone rotary dial.
Yeah.
And he asked one of the women who worked there, who was about 25, dial a number for me.
Oh no.
And it's one of those things where you dial the number and you wait, it goes, it goes back, right? It was like 212. It's not working, right?
yeah.
No idea.
How to use it?
Shit changes.
Yeah.
Shit changes. But if you know how to learn, and if you love to learn, you will find a way to figure it
And
out.
evolve.
And that's what I tell my kids, right? My son is like, why do I have to do this, Dad? I'm never going to use. When was the last time? I'm like, same thing I just said now, right? When you learn how to learn, you can figure out anything.
Totally true.
And so when you learn calculus, maybe you didn't use calculus, right? But when you're looking at shit and you're trying to figure what's the best setup for this room, you're thinking and you're making equational valuations in your head.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And so you use that. You just don't sit down and visually say, let me create a formula.
I did. I came in. The first thing I did when I came in here today is I had the pie gathering theory completely, drawn up, and I studied it.
The pie gathering.
Yeah.
The pie gallery.
We had a pie gathering here earlier today,
Right?
before you came. Do you think that the world is going to ever get better? Do you have hope?
Yes. I'm big on hopium, for sure. Like, if you go back in history, my dad used to say, you don't live in the world you were born into. And if you go back in history, like my grandparents who were in Ukraine got forced out in the early 1920s, over 100 years ago, because they were Jewish and they were like, leave or die. My dad enlisted in World War II and got sent and, had shrapnel and this and that. And he saw people die. Shit's been worse, a lot worse. The difference is, like, if you want to see something and get a perception of something, you just pick up your phone. Used to be before you would have to turn on the TV, turn on the radio, or wait for the newspaper. And everybody kind of had the same gatekeepers, and we all saw the same thing and got the same message, and things didn't look as scary. But, there's been riots, there's all kinds of fucked up shit, right? If even now, like, if you're a minority person of color in this country, people are going to fuck with you.
Going back to the X conversation we had earlier and kind of just like touching on what you're talking about here. You talked about these like gatekeepers and this kind of like order and less democratized approach to news sharing. Do you ever feel like the new ability to kind of just show everything to everyone all the time could lead to like a spiraling snowball effect of that elevated bad energy almost?
No, but it does elevate the bad energy for sure. And it does create more risk because it's an easy platform to send misinformation. And so when you get on X in particular, maybe to a lesser extent TikTok, you're going to see some shit that in the 20 years ago you would never have seen, right? And that can scare the fuck out of you, or it can inspire someone to do bad shit and all that. And that, I think that leads to more lone wolves or more, breakaway groups. But like these dudes here, you walk through here and it's not like, oh, we're all fucked up, we're all going to die, right? You go to the restaurant, you talk to people who are buying Prime, right? You go to WWE and you see people who look like every type of person on the planet, and people are still screaming and yelling at WWE, right?
We've actually been talking about this a lot lately. The internet is just so detached from what real life
social
looks
media,
like.
not even the internet.
Sorry.
Yeah,
social media. It's actually wild because if you spend enough time in it, you get on that
rabbit hole and it's fucked up.
Well, you have no choice but to believe in your mind that this is how the world outside of social media
if that's
behaves.
all you saw, for sure. Yeah.
And we see it so much. We're on our phones all day, and then you go outside and you're like,
day.
None of this is happening.
Yeah.
And you see, like, my kids are using TikTok less, use YouTube only within like sports highlights or whatever, or clothes or whatever, and not the way they used it even 5 years ago.
You think the habit might be breaking a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
For younger people?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. You think
because there's too much shit, right? And the algorithms send
they know that.
Yes, they do. They know it better than we do.
They're getting smarter though. You're seeing like a whole new generation of like anti-alcohol, anti-drug. Like, dude, the amount, like, a lot of kids started leaning more towards marijuana than alcohol. I mean, when we were in high school, dude, that's what you did. We had a keg in our pool hall at school during school hours. Like, you'd be there getting fucked up all day. Now kids are making smarter decisions about their sobriety, their long-term health.
For sure.
And so I think if they notice that continuous dopamine rush for them is bad from social media, they're going to potentially steer away from that.
We all see our fucked up friends. And you say, how'd this person get so fucked up? Him or her, right? And you know the ones that have got totally into social media to a negative extent.
For sure.
Right? Just like you saw people who smoked too much or drank too much or whatever.
They're programmed.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, but now it's even worse because it's wars and people getting shot and, in school shootings and, people, all this shit that's even scarier. Why do you want to go into, onto that platform if that's what you're going to see?
It's just so, and especially obviously now with the current conflict,
yeah, it's fucked up, right?
It's just insane.
It's scary.
Yeah. And just the misinformation that's getting, misinformation and propaganda has always generally been a government used tool for warfare. And now it's used by individuals. It's used by everybody.
And governments too, who just like take over. Like the amount of time I spent on Twitter since the whole Israel Hamas thing, probably down 80%.
It is bad. It is really, really bad. Like it is
it's just super hard to understand. I think it's really complex, and you mentioned the word is misinformation. That scares me.
Yeah, you just don't know what's true.
I don't want to digest something and then regurgitate something and have it be so far from the truth. Community notes on X working overtime,
right, to keep up with that shit,
to make sure the pictures taken from years out of context.
The biggest one with that was obviously this past week with the hospital, and I mean the
pinnacle of journalism.
Well, they said, like, I read that article and it said, this is what Hamas said, right?
Yeah.
They said, and then they apologized for making it, so upfront. But do people really, the people who read the New York Times, like literally read the physical paper, are going to read all the words, right? It's when they take that headline and just put it in social media and it gets used in misinformation that I think it's really fucked up. And look, I'm not here to talk up the New York Times. I don't give a fuck one way or the other, right? But they're never going to get it all right. but how do you tell what's real and what's not? And even when you look at the community notes, right? They're battling community notes about everything. And it's just like, fuck it.
It's just weird too with like, there was such a battle against mainstream news, and for good reason. It's obviously like a lot of it is like corporate run and owned and government influenced, right? But like the idea that there is more journalistic credibility and journalistic responsibility on X than on the New York Times is fucking
insane.
ridiculous. That is ridiculous. There's absolutely no responsibility. There's absolutely no.
So that's why I go more on
accountability.
Threads. Like I'll go on Threads just, and I'll follow Reuters and, Bloomberg, because when you just read their shit, there's not all the other insanity, and there's no for you where like on X, like it's for you first and then what you follow. And you never make it to the ones you follow, right? Because you just read what's in front of you.
Well, I try to go back over to my following tab. And I swear to you, if I update the app or kill the app or something like that, when I open it back up, it's on the For You tab.
No, for sure.
They don't want me fucking.
No, fuck no,
You know who
no.
I follow an account named @Jesus on Twitter. I follow Logan. I follow my mom. I follow my friends. When I'm on that side of the world, it's a chill place. I'm like, oh, Psalm 16:29. Oh, that's a great verse.
And Cuban's got the best shit too.
Bro, come on. Of course I follow you. And then as soon as I open back up, it's this kid got his ass beat in high school. Watch him lose this fight.
Right.
I don't want to watch that.
No, and then it's just like you do, right? But
well, that's the problem.
You just don't want all the other shit surrounding it, right?
Yeah,
Particularly when it's fucked up when it applies to real world events. And you just want a basic understanding, right? And you just can't get it.
It's so hard. It's so muddy.
Social media is not the place to get that anymore. You just cannot.
One thing I do like that Elon did, and I will do this because I think it's important to, talk about positives as well, is he added a note where you were going to share an article that you hadn't read.
Oh, yeah. No, that was there before him.
That was a Twitter function?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Elon. You get no flowers today. Great rockets, though.
Yeah, great rockets. Hey, dude's an amazing entrepreneur.
He is.
Amazing entrepreneur.
I feel like it
turned
turned into like a hate fest today, but it's... Listen,
but he fucked up Twitter.
X is fucked.
It's fucked. I want to end on this note.
Something positive, I hope.
Yeah, talking about government, talking about the future. You run it for president, Mark Cuban?
No, my family voted it down.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
But, days, shit like the last couple of weeks, who the fuck wants to deal with that? Biden's actually done a good job on just like dealing with the whole Israeli-Palestinian because, he's rightfully supporting Israel against the terrorists, Hamas, but recognizing that the Palestinian people in Gaza
need help.
They need help. They're fucked, and you just can't shit on them because, Hamas is, overwhelming.
Representative.
Yeah.
All right, it's a stressful job, so no Mark Cuban for president. Right?
No, man. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. Like,
no, it seems like a lot
being
of
like
work.
pro-Israeli, and then how do you deal with that? And then everybody hates you. Then these people hate you.
Well, you're walking on eggshells, especially in this day and
it's a no-win. That equilibrium is impossible to find right now.
Why would you want to do that? Do you have a nice down barrel motivational thing to say to the audience, positive, to end this episode?
Look how handsome these guys are.
Dude, thanks for joining us, Mark.
No, this is fun, man. I really enjoed it. It was great.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, it was really good.
You're excellent, man. It's cool when you sit with someone that is as accomplished as you, and then you realize like why they're as accomplished as they are, and you're one of those people, man.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man.
Let's
This
go
is
Mavs.
fun. Go Mavs,
Go
man.
Mavs,
Go
baby.
Mavs.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of Impaulsive. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.